Hi ladies, this is Linda. Last week I bought some of this Sculpey Mold Maker and just some white Sculpey clay. It's the oven baked clay, and I played around with it, and I'll do a review and show you what I found out. So here we go. We'll first start with this. I bought this stamp in the dollar bin at Michael's because I wanted to see how it would work as a mold. So I did the mold, and then I made this out of it. So first I used the Sculpey Mold Maker, and it was pretty easy to work with, and as you can see they're very flexible, so when you put your clay in, it's easy just to pop them right out and then you bake them. So for this one, I used a variety of things to paint it with. First I tried some Perfect Pearls in, no, that's not what I did. Sorry. I used this. I used so many different things until I kind of forgot. I tried this LA Colors eyeshadow that I got from the Dollar Tree, and it just comes out, and I just kind of painted it on. I used some water like you would the Perfect Pearls, and I painted it on, but it was okay, but it looked kind of drabby. So then what I did was I took some of the acrylic paint, the Adirondack, and I used the copper with the dabber on the end, and I put that on, and I really liked the way it turned out. So that was the first one I did, and I have to say that the stamp worked really, really well. Then I tried a thread spool, and I just took the clay, the molding clay, and I just pushed it in there and baked it, and then I took a little piece of the clay and I put it in, and I got this, and I thought that turned out really, really cute. Now I just wrapped some twine around it, and I used frayed burlap distress ink to darken it up some. So that turned out real well. Okay, I also tried some Cameos, and they were okay. I think that they would have worked better if I would have pushed them further in. I don't think I pushed them in far enough, so when I took the clay out, I had to cut around it because it didn't go all the way down in there, because the stamp was too shallow, the mold, so I need to make another one of those. But I tried this with a black Sharpie, just a regular Sharpie, and it was okay, but it's a little dull. The black was a little dull. But I did use the Adirondack acrylic paint dabber in pearl for the face, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's shiny and it worked excellent. So with this one I used a Copic marker, and I wasn't really impressed with the way the Copics worked. I didn't care that much for them, but I also used the same paint dabber on the lady, and I was real satisfied with the way that worked. Okay, so on to the next one. Next I tried a button, and it turned out fairly well, although in experimenting with the paints I wasn't real crazy about how they turned out. This again was a Copic marker, and it's very dull. Then I used Perfect Pearls Forever Red on this one, and it wasn't too bad. It's very shimmery. I'm not sure that the camera's going to pick that up, but I also used some of this little striped glitter that I got the other day. Swirl glitter, they call it. In the center. For this one, I first used, I dabbed some Pretty in Pink Stampin' Up! Re-inker on it, and then I mixed with it Glossy Accents. And it worked fairly well, I think. So that was my flower button. I did quite a few, so we'll just continue on. Next, I used another button, and I don't think I got my clay quite thick enough for this one because this went way down in there. So it kind of was real thin on the bottom. So when I popped it out, it left a little indentation in the pearl. I'm sure you can see that. Excuse me. However, I have definitely decided that Adirondack paint dabbers are the way to go, because this worked well and it only took a second to paint, dab it on, and it looks great. I like it. So my preference for painting these little things are definitely acrylic paint. And I imagine any acrylic paint will work well, but markers just don't really seem to do that well. Now, I also did this little resin flower from Stampin' Up! And again, I used a Copic marker, and I did not like it. It's just too dull, and the color is not very vibrant. So I don't recommend Copics for this. At least, in my opinion, I didn't care for them. And then I made a little butterfly from a little metal butterfly. Very thin. And again, I don't think I got it quite deep enough. I'm not crazy about my butterfly. It didn't turn out very well. And to tell you the truth, I don't remember what I used on it because I really didn't. It was so tiny. I think I just had some extra paint and I just sort of swirled it all together and painted it on. So I really don't know what to call it. It's just a combination of things. And then I used this flower, and I made 2 of these, and I painted them with the Perfect Pearls, and they're okay, but not anything special. So the last thing I did, and I think probably my favorite thing, is the heart. Is there a glare? I'm not sure you can. Sorry about the glare. Anyway, I don't know how good that showed up. I used this little thin metal heart, and just like the stamp, for me, the thinner the thinner the thing you're using to make your mold with, the better it works for me. Because, and I just painted this with the copper Adirondack paint dabber. So for me, the stamp and